What's good, y'all? This is Felly. I'm here with TREBEL. We're about to get into some questions relating to music. Yeah, so I think I just sort of, the way that I found my new sound is that I sort of just kind of worked with what I had. So I remember a Picasso quote. He said, "If you don't have red, use blue." So I think sort of working with your limitations helps you to achieve, something. It's kind of all you can do. So I remember when I was younger, the first thing I could get was like a laptop or something, or a USB microphone. So you use GarageBand and use a USB microphone, and then you save up some money, you can get a beat machine. And then once you make a beat machine, you got the beat machine, then you could get a keyboard or a synth. And then once you do that, you get a guitar. And then once you have a guitar, now there's songwriters around you, or there's other people who make beats, and well, let's see what happens when we talk to that. So I think just being aware of what was around me sort of helped me to create all the sounds. And now I'm blessed to have a really dope circle of amazing musicians, amazing artists, and I have a lot more resources now, but I still try to keep that Picasso mentality of work with some limitation, because limitations can actually help you in some way. I think just connecting to the one, like the higher power, just like that frequency that you hear that you can't describe, and that which is like not really worldly. Like when you're listening to great music, you're like, like what was that? That made me feel something like almost outside of this earth. Sort of like if you ask me the question of like, where do your dreams come from? It's sort of like tapping into that frequency, or at least being open-minded to that mysteriousness, and that and just opening the door to that. So I think my life has just sort of become this way of working on myself and my being, to be open to that, to be open enough, and not not too fast-paced in my thoughts, or not overstimulated, and quiet enough to hear that frequency, because I think that's where all the good stuff comes from. I feel like that's sort of my goal. Like Quincy Jones said, your music is only going to be as good as you are as a person. And so I kind of I really like that quote. I mean, it doesn't mean you need to be like a Buddhist or a purist or celibate, or you could still be who you are. It's just about being true and authentic, and by doing that, you're contributing to the one, and therefore you are the one. So oneness is my answer of what my motivation is as an artist. What was the first concert you went to? I think it was the Beach Boys. The first concert I went to was the Beach Boys. I remember my parents took me there, and I remember like them talking about how like most of the band was dead, and there was like only one guy doing all the Beach Boys songs. So I thought that was like kind of crazy, because I was like, oh wow, that was like, wow, it's a bit of a hack. You can hack this short life that we're given with some timeless music, and the music lives on even though all these guys are getting killed and dying and shit. So I think that resonated with me subconsciously. I'm actually just realizing that now as I'm talking about it. But I went to other shows, like my parents would take me like Dave Matthews and Peter Frampton and some country stuff that I wasn't really into, but shouts to my mom, shouts to my stepdad, some good music out there. Well, quit the plane, yeah. Coke white seats on the plane, yeah. No girlfriend. I would really like to collaborate with Justin Vernon from Bon Iver. I just think he's super dope. Seems like a great guy, and he's down to make some far out shit. So when I hear his music, it kind of takes me to that area of mystery, and I appreciate that. Other producers or artists like Pharrell and Dr. Dre, if it's not them taking me to that spacey land, it's like taking me to somewhere where like I want to feel joy, I want to dance, I want to feel good, I want to feel love, or with Dre or something, I want to feel like a gangster, like I want to feel my confidence. It's like it's like different people are like, different flavors that you could tap into, what you want your vibe, how you want to feel. And that's just a great thing about life, and a great thing about music is that we can just like kind of access these things, and they're all like in front of us, so you can kind of just tune to whatever frequency you want. So, but yeah, those are some artists I would love to collaborate with. I like to joke and just say they're just bumper stickers. Like, you're just some shit you just pick up like on the road or on the journey. Like, we often get tattoos on tour when you have like an off day or just bored. But a lot of mine are just like ideas that come to mind, and I'm just like, this would be cool. And then time passes and you either get it or you don't. But what I realize is it doesn't really matter. Like, obviously, don't get no whack shit. Like, well, you kind of have to. It's kind of like everyone with tattoos has at least a couple whack ones, but ideally they're not whack. But yeah, they're just pieces of art. They're cool. And I don't like the bitch, we just try to live. The road is long. I think the first time that I heard like sampled music in hip hop, like hip hop beats with like old samples, I was like fascinated at how, like, I remember being like, it sounds so old fashioned, or it sounds like a time machine, and I was just like amazed that you could have something sound like the 1920s or the 30s, 40s, 50s, whatever. Like, I thought that was so sick that you could like recreate in real time something that was reminiscent of the past, like literally actually contained the past. Just felt like time traveling, and at this point I was going to school from like 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. and everything just felt so rigid, and this was like something that was unbound and uncharted waters. So I thought that was super dope. And but why I dedicate myself to music like changes every day. Like, I feel like sometimes it's like it's for other people, and sometimes I'm like, no, this is my therapy, and then sometimes I'm like, I just want to make some money. And sometimes it's like because of this one fan, or because I am bad at everything else, or like, it could be anything. So it always changes. I was listening to Counting Crows. I was listening to their album Recovering the Satellites. They're a dope band from the 90s. A lot of people laugh at them because I think they're in like the Shrek soundtrack, but fuck yeah, bro. If Shrek hits me up, I'm going in that soundtrack too. So shouts to Counting Crows. They're a dope band. They have some deep shit. Bones is sort of like, I tried to write like an almost non-emotional heartbreak song, like something, well, it's still emotional, but like something that's not like, I love you baby, or I miss you, or like, it's not like sunshine and roses. Like, I wanted to write like a sort of like a darker look on it, like a more primal, like, no, you're like crushing me. Like, it's about having your bones broken. Like, instead of your heart, it's not heartbreak, it's like it's like bone breaking. I laugh because one of the jokes that we had when we were trying to film the video, we were casting for one of the girl models, and one of the models, her most recent Instagram picture was like her with like she had broken her leg, and so I was like, let's get this chick because she broke her leg. That's just my own humor running around. But yeah, Bones is like sort of just it's just talks about like how crazy it is that you could open yourself up to love and get crushed. And so I was just sort of like dealing with that and talking about that. But it's a badass song. It's got crazy drums, crazy bass line. I think one of my major goals is to sort of tap into old school styles of recording, like maybe like tape, or recording everything on one take with a live band, or something that kind of feels more alive and reminiscent of the older music. Like, I love making music on Ableton and Logic, obviously, but I've done it so much that I sort of I can see where there's limitations and where it can be a trap. So I want to just kind of explore more with, like, I don't know, different ways of recording, different ways of getting sound, because I think that's what I'm just here to do, honestly. It's like, I just I want to make the sounds and create the sounds that make you feel elated. I don't know, just I don't even have a word for it. That's how I want it to make you feel. So yeah, that's my goal. I gotta do some of my homework and research some of like the older engineers and stuff like not even too far long ago, like stuff like Red Hot Chili Peppers, like they would do stuff on tape, and Foo Fighters, and just kind of branch a little bit away from like these like, I don't know, cookie cutter like beats and Ableton and stuff. It just kind of gets a little old. So go check out Young Fel 2. Treble, thank you for having me. To everyone who made it this far and watched this, thank you. I hope to see you on the road, and stay safe, y'all. Cheers. Can't stay for too long. She does things to crush me. She says she